Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Cal. In today's video, I'm going to be covering how you can find a condo here in Bangkok. What you have to remember is that Bangkok is a renter's market. There has been significant overbuilding in the city for about 15 years now, and a lot of these condos are half empty, so you have a huge variety to choose from. This is really the opposite of most Western countries where you have a scarcity of supply in the condo markets, and it can be quite hard to find a condo. It is very, very easy to find a condo here in Bangkok. And as it's so easy to find a condo, there's no reason to look for a condo from outside of Bangkok. It's always better to start looking for a condo after you arrive here in the city. You can literally find one and sign a lease within days of arriving. You could probably do it within one day if you really wanted to. But that's not a great idea either, because you do want to take a little bit of time to explore the city and choose the area that you're going to live in. Before you even look at any condos, go to an area, look around the area, spend some time in the area. Think about, is this an area I want to live in? And then compare it with other areas. Take some time and just go around the city. Hey, it's a great way to get to know the city in the first place. You'll find that there's a huge supply of condos in literally every area in this city. So you just want to choose the area that works best for you. And in terms of location, if you're working or studying here in the city, you definitely want to choose a location that's very near to your work or study location, and you want to be near a BTS or MRT public transportation station, as traffic in Bangkok can get pretty bad and we have a long rainy season. Don't make your life harder by picking a location that's far away from the places you're going to be visiting every day. And once you've selected the area in which you want to live, you want to make a list of the condos in that area. And you can do that by checking 4 websites: HipFlat, DD Property, RentHub, and Property Hub. These are the 4 real estate listing websites that are very popular here in Thailand. And go check all the listings, make a list of all the condos in that area that may be of interest to you. Walk into each condo, go to the juristic office. The juristic office is the management office, and it's normally at the front of the condo. And simply ask the person that's working there if they have any units available for rent, or if they have an agency that they work with that you should contact to view all the available units. Very important to go to the building directly, because most of the listings on all of those sites are in fact fake. They are mostly old listings that property rental agencies will leave up simply to get customers to contact them. The other benefit of going into the juristic office directly is that oftentimes the juristic officer will actually know of some condos that are up on the market or will be listed on the market. Agencies normally take a 1-month fee. And so if you have to use an agency, the owner has to actually pay them a 1-month rental fee, and you will avoid paying that fee, and they offer you a cheaper price on the rental normally. So everybody wins in this scenario. And our last most important factor in going directly to the condo unit to look for condos, whether or not you deal with a juristic officer or an agency that they know directly, you're now signing the contract with a very legitimate party. But these are not scams, okay? And you do have to be careful about scams. First thing you should know is that the version of the lease that you're signing, which is written in English, is not the official version of the lease. The official version of the lease will be the Thai version of the lease. And so you have to either read Thai and understand all that Thai legalese, or you have to trust the party that you're working with. And this is why it's so important that you work with one of the reputable agencies or directly with a juristic officer, because this is a trustworthy party. Most of the time, if you're dealing with a reputable party, you won't have a problem. And in my 7 years living here, I've always made sure that I'm dealing with a reputable party when I'm signing a lease, when I'm looking for a condo, and I have not had a problem with leases. Normally, it's just a standard template lease that you're going to sign. And if you feel something doesn't look right, you can ask that it gets amended. The one thing that I've heard stories about is in older condos, sometimes they'll put in a clause where you'll be paying the electricity and the water directly to the apartment rather than the Metropolitan Electric Authority, which is the official city authority. And these rates can be substantially higher. I had a friend that this happened to recently. It was in an older apartment building. He didn't check that contract close enough, and he ended up paying exorbitant electricity rates. It's only in some of the older apartment style buildings where you get this issue. Apartments normally have a single owner for the entire building. whereas condos have individual unit ownership. You'll normally find apartments advertised on RentHub, and these are also available for daily, weekly, and monthly rentals. If you are looking for a short-term rental unit, these can actually be an excellent choice. Standard lease length here in Thailand is 1 year. If you're looking for a 1-year condo, you'll have absolutely no problem finding a huge selection, and you'll have lots of room for negotiation. You can also normally negotiate a 6-month lease. Often, the agent or owner will ask you to pay more for a 6-month lease. When you come and ask for a year lease, they see you as prospectively being a long-term tenant, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And that's exactly what all landlords are looking for. And your ability to negotiate for a lower price is actually very, very good. You can normally offer about 20 or 30% less than the asking price. You can expect that any landlord is probably going to give you a counter offer, and occasionally they'll refuse to negotiate altogether. Here in Thailand, you're normally asked to give 2 months deposit along with the first month's rent for a total of 3 months rent when you sign the lease, which is a decent chunk of change. There's a lot of horror stories that you'll see online about people who didn't get their deposits back, but keep in mind, when you're searching these types of things online, it may not be reflective of the broad statistical trend. You're always going to hear the horror stories. Very few people go online and tell a great long story about how they got their whole deposit back and didn't have any problems. And in my 7 years living here, I actually haven't lost a single deposit. It's more or less a luck of the draw scenario. You walk in, you have a lease, you have a contract, kind of hope for the best. You can get a lawyer. It would depend on the value of the deposit and whether it is worth your time to pursue it. If you break a lease, you should normally expect to lose your deposit. You can check the terms of your lease to see if there are any conditions around breaking the contract. You can also approach the landlord about attempting to find a lease takeover and use something like Facebook Marketplace to try to find a lease takeover. But again, that would be contingent upon coming to some agreement with the landlord. The most common scam occurs when you're not actually registered at the condo office. This will also include filling out something called a TM30 form, which is a government registration that's done by the landlord and registers you to legally be staying in the condo. Once you're properly registered at the condo, it means that the owner has registered you. Owner is definitely aware that they have leased the condo to you. And this protects you from one of the main scams that occurs in the condo market, and that is the fake agent, fake owner arrangement. Happened to a friend of mine. You rent a condo and you sign a contract, but you're not actually registered at the condo office. You pay first month's rent and the deposit, and a short time later, the owner will show up at the condo and say they don't know anything about you staying there. You're there illegally and demand payment from you. And they may threaten police involvement. Make sure you get registered at the condo. Make sure you get that TM30. That protects you from problems with the government anyways. If you liked the video, found it useful, please give it a like. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.